Hi everyone, Alex here. I'd just like to take a moment to thank some of our patrons. Jamie Martinelli, Kate, Gabrielle, Brereton, Aiden Grahame, Marcus Bolton, Elentori, JebKenobi, Feliks, Jamie Levine, Omer Fidler, Ria, Artie, Davis Doherty, Annie Spencer, Manon, Jai Aldiar, Stephanie Leacock, Lydia Campbell, Erinn, Mars J. Thank you all. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to join them, go to www.patreon.com/Rusty Quill and take a look at our rewards. Welcome to episode 148 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and GM, Alex Newall. With me today I have...
Ben Meredith,
Bryn Monroe,
Lydia Nicholas,
and Helen.
And who are you playing?
Zolf Smith,
Hamid Slayer out of hand.
Birthday girl! Happy birthday!
It's Sel's birthday.
Weirdly enough, I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be Lydia's birthday for about 4 weeks. Give or take.
I reckon 3, if I'm honest.
Oh, I better not be 3.
Celebrating me. It's just an annual festival. Okay, no. Also playing Southside Ball.
And
Azu.
Yeah, you're in here. You're in here. It's all good.
I am certainly
So,
on the floor.
Wait, has Azu just broken through the fourth wall? Kill him for us, Azu. Only you can save yourself this way.
Are you kidding me? If Azu broke through the wall, Azu would take me aside and go, "Listen, I know you're playing the big man, but is everything okay?" And I'd be like, "Hug me, Azu. Hug me. I need the hug. No one's giving me hugs."
It's the weird thing though that we think Azu is the lovely, kind, caring one, and she is, but she also has killed a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Like,
these are not mutually exclusive things for me.
The kindest of murderers.
yeah.
I just meant focused. I can just get on board with that level of focus, you know?
Well, just like this is why I try and cast Detect Evil. Quite a lot.
Oh, what? Just to make sure the people you kill deserve it.
Yes, Ben.
Foam at the mouth, axe in the midair. Ah! Oh, hang on. Sorry. Ping. No, go on.
You're just neutral.
I can't believe you're being Judge, Judy and Executioner. Such a good line.
Also, we are very much in a weird energy again, because that's just how we're rolling at the moment.
I'm so hungover.
So, picking up, though, on where we left off, what was horrible is watching my big beefy boy not quite manage to kill anyone.
I'm the only beefy boy here.
I did explicitly say lanky more than beefy, didn't I?
True.
Gangling, in fact, with the extra elbows and stuff. Oh, bulbous was the word I used.
Like unto a bulb.
Like unto a bulb. Speaking of which, said gangling creature like unto a bulb within the underwater facility within which you are all currently extant. It has collapsed, leaving you all in a large boss-shaped, obviously boss-shaped room. I am going to do one thing which listeners will pick up on, which is I'm going to skip past them eliminating the remaining blobs for one simple reason. I think every single party member, including Skraak, can one-hit kill them.
Good.
Because you know what happens if they get you anyway? I can reveal it now.
What?
They just make you stand still and laugh.
Cement. A little cement.
They just make you stand still and laugh.
Oh, that's so nice!
That's actually that would actually be.
You would have all been...
I think the plan was while being punched by,
the ideal would be one of you, Azu, would have definitely been killed whilst everyone else laughed. But here we are.
I don't even respect your cry!
I can't believe that you were like, didn't take anyone out. You were looking at me.
Oh, yeah.
You aimed that terrible bulb monster at me specifically.
Everyone gets a chance to shine,
No,
okay?
I didn't even shine. Hamid had to kill it for me.
I said everyone, not necessarily every time. Speaking of which, you're inside a large dome room standing up above, I'd love to say the word corpse, shattered remnants of a thing that never should have been.
Jumble sale.
Jumble sale, better, much better.
Junkyard.
So as it stands,
No. Junkyards might have things that still have some purpose.
So
We're talking about back at the primary school, sponsored by the local estate agent.
I tell you, you know what? I said I'd start, and then I have to say this anyway. I actually went to a Jumble sale recently. Turns out Jumble sales in a post-internet world, where eBay's a thing, much sadder affairs than they used to be. I remember them being much more joyous and full of actual things. Now it's just people that don't understand how the internet works.
Aww.
It has a new sad element to it. It's not good.
Oh, dear.
Also, lots of stolen power tools, but that's a story for another time. like literally a mound as big as a car of stolen power tools. That's a thing. But moving on. You are now facing a, quote, jumble sail in the middle of this large underwater facility, having just dispatched the last of the things.
Oh, goodies! Sel wants to, I assume it would be a craft alchemy, see if there are any valuable bits.
No, that would be a perception to search the body.
Okay.
Craft alchemy would be to identify,
I'm
like,
looking for the
from
alchemical
what
bits.
is salvageable, like what's good, what's not.
I mean, they're a bit distracted, so they only rolled a 17.
17, okay. I'm going to give you the bad news first. Dragoneme, look at my dragon breath, has pretty much rendered the thing into a paste.
Is everyone okay?
Most of it's
No.
gone.
I think, well...
Good news.
Alive.
Ooh, with one notable exception. The brain orb appears completely intact, though extremely sooty.
Unplug it.
There's nothing to unplug. It's literally, like, basically freestanding amidst the pile of garbage.
Okay, just gonna hold that under my arm like
It is
a bowling ball.
The ball itself is about the size of your torso. The brain inside is quite small. The bulb itself quite large. Maybe even the size of Azu's
Does
torso.
anyone-
It's hefty, you know.
Oh, okay.
Azu, what do you need, Azu?
Who else is hurting?
I'm... Yeah, a little bit. Sel, you doing okay?
Oh, what? Yes.
Are you sure? I think you did get hit.
Stumbles away from the...
Right.
Or, yeah, I mean, Sel is down to 6 hit points.
Allow me, I can do it
Skraak, are you okay? Skraak?
Skraak is currently scrambled down from the balcony, run up to Azu, and is kind of tugging on Azu's armour.
Hello.
Skraak! And holds out the health potion that Hamid gave him earlier.
No, you should.
No,
keep
don't
that.
use it at all. Come on, Hamid, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Right.
I think Skraak pulls a face at Ben's character. I'd love to say Zolf, but no. Skraak explicitly pulls a face at Ben's character.
He just pulls
matters
his
to
face
me.
out into
Weird.
the fourth
This is just weird.
Matters to me.
Everyone gets 17 hit points back.
Including Skraak.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, unless Skraak is undead, at which point I kill Skraak.
Skraak leaves the room for an unexplained reason. Canonically, Skraak is not. Just FYI, Skraak.
Skraak is not.
Yes, because if
What?
He's
He's unbeing.
genuinely, if Skraak was undead, I've just killed him.
I know. That's why, canonically, Skraak is not. I believe Skraak may have healed 1 hit point, which is the entire damage Skraak has taken since the start.
Okay. Does anyone need any more healing? I mean,
Yeah, I could use a little bit, but...
I mean,
Okay.
I guess I'm kind of... I'm not at my best. I
Come
could
over
be,
here.
But
Right, I'll go over
you
there.
never ask.
I'm going to.
Hamid stops being invisible.
Oh, you were just talking, weren't you?
Sally's also still has massive bat.
Oh, yeah, you're still-
fangs. Another hour of this.
Okay. I'm going to do a lay on hands on you and a lay on hands on you.
That's Hamid and Sel.
No.
No, that's
was
Zolf.
Zolf.
I misread the thumb.
Cell feels leathery.
Which is 4d6. I need a couple more. Thank you. Your
your
dice
dice.
rejected. Oh,
Solid.
I can't count
18.
something. Okay,
I liked it better when you rolled low.
okay. And then one for you.
These inferior healers
No,
have to do it one at a
Lay on
time.
hands is great, but just not for massing.
14.
You get 14 back.
Thank you very much.
And then
Oh,
I'm
okay,
going
you're
to-
actually, you seem to be out of your slump finally.
I'm now out of my lay on hands. Also, Zolf and Cell, if you were deceived, enfeebled, or poisoned, you are no longer any of those.
Now, I am going to announce things to audience for people who are tracking because it's just going to be easier. We have decided to level between sessions because, let's be honest,
Takes ages.
you earn it. However, I'm going to be a little bit mushy about it because I don't...
Basically level 10. by now.
I don't like... Ooh, I can take him away. Negative energy is a thing, Bryn. It hasn't been for you, but it will be.
I know. I sit in this room. Hey.
I can prepare restoration, so...
Kill the cleric first.
No!
I mean, yes, yes,
That-
that's the rule.
Absolutely.
If there's a wizard, you kill the wizard. If there's a clerik, you kill... Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex,
So,
if I get to level 11, that's when I get wings. just so you know, there's some really good art of Hamid with wings, and do you know how sad it would make everyone if it never happened?
I really want it not to happen. So everyone has leveled,
flapping around.
but as I have said before,
Happily.
I am going to be a little bit mushy with it in that, for the sake of speed, we've already tallied up a bunch of like the core stats and so on. I am going to tell people now, if you have picked new spells and other big shiny bells and whistles, those aren't going to trigger until you've actually had a rest.
Rude!
So
I wanted to plane our shift out of here.
Do I still...
there's a reason I'm forbidding it until you rest, Ben.
Wait, everybody, sleep for 8 hours and we'll plane our shift out of here.
Do I still get my extra mercy?
Yes, so by big bells and whistles, I'm going to allow you that one. I'm talking more like planar shifting away. Specifically, there's a reason that you haven't been leveling past this dungeon yet. Because it's a bloody nightmare.
Let's go say hi to Hades.
I played a campaign where people did that, and they waited till the heat death of the universe because he was a very busy god. Okay, what are you doing now?
I'm going to investigate the rest of the weird organ console. So this creature ripped themselves out of the organ console.
So, in combat, to your eyes, it looked like they ripped themselves out. No. This was not a case of the console, like, reforming itself. This was a thing that was built into it.
Yeah.
It appears to be, to your eye, since you're not an engineer of this kind of thing, I want you to imagine, like, the biggest iPod dock imaginable. That, I guess.
Sure. And there's the 2 columns filled with bubbling liquid.
Well,
Now that I've
Half full, right?
half full now.
Now that I've seen the brain in the orb in the centre of this machine, I want to investigate these columns more closely, because I think they might be the same as the columns full of nutrient jelly and brains that we saw under a certain landmark in Paris.
Understood. I'm not going to get you to do a check. No. They are bright green. The ones underneath Paris were not. Like, these are, like, lurid green. Also, if you remember, you did detect magic in this room.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't detect the weird combination of necromantic and other stuff, which did characterise Mr. Sealing.
Yes.
Because Mr. Sealing was, like, necromantic plus enchantment plus a little bit
plus divine.
Of divine,
Yeah.
which is weird. This does not have that. This is purely mundane.
So you just really like brains and putting them in vats?
There's no... did I say there were brains in those vats? I don't think.
There's a brain in an
There's
orb.
one.
There's a brob.
Brobs and brats are not the same thing.
I don't like what I've started.
Zell is gonna like be trying to move the bulb and just be like, "Show in! Showing you in there?"
He's just rolling it
Multiple
round.
languages, like trying to look in and
So, the brain within the orb
yeah.
has a couple of, like, basically electrodes upon it. We'd recognise them as that. Running out to... There's some apparatus built into the orb. Not much. Like, there's some...
Little hands.
Basically, there appears to be, like, a dock for it to plug into the rest of the stuff. At the bottom, there might be space for little feet and something, but we're not talking a lot. Like, big
Not
orb...
gonna walk off.
Big orb, nah, itty bitty living space. There you go.
So what do we do with...
I don't know how you're gonna question him.
Yeah, hang on a minute. This is some Mr. Sealing stuff. I say, looking at Hamid.
Does look a bit like that. I found some...
Is my English failing me here?
No.
There was a
Brain-based intelligence underneath Paris. One of the reasons. Yeah, it was
I think they
Okay.
smashed it.
Can everyone give me a perception check?
Yes. Hey, it's a nat 20. Starting well.
Wait, are we using our new checks?
Yes,
Better
like I
be,
said,
'cause
if
it's
it's
the only
Basically,
shit I've
passive yes, activated no.
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah, that works for me.
28.
Okay, 21.
29.
Now that you're all looking at it,
27.
you notice that one of the hemispheres of the brain is riddled with blue veins. Only one of the hemispheres.
Oh, wait. Ugh. Don't let any of that. Oh.
Should we just take this back to Wild?
No. Oh, no. We need to get rid of this now.
Well, surely we need to find out more about it, as long as it can't...
We can't touch it.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, look. Yeah. Sure. All right. Can somebody do some examinations on it without without breaking open that orb?
I mean, I can look at it, but I'm not.
Can you
really
give me a knowledge engineering?
Yeah, that was a genuine question, not like an expectation.
14.
14. Things that you know with a 14. This thing's pretty self-contained. Short of him maybe putting some explosives in there to, like, explode himself. You couldn't really fit much in there. It's not going to be walking away. It doesn't really have space for any big elaborate surprises in there. You do think that you could probably rig it up, like to connect to stuff. However, that traditionally is where problems can come unless you think AI in a box. It's fine to have the brain in an orb, and it's fine to maybe attach the brain in an orb to a speaker at a push. Plugging it into anything else, you're asking for it to take over the radio and come and get you.
Cell explains this, but a much longer length.
Sure.
But but also points out that, like, I mean, really, if I were to design this, I would put in like little retractable legs so that at least, even if your whole body is, you can just.
But I've got to say, I'm really glad you didn't design this because look, just to be very clear, we still don't know how this stuff spreads. Like, people go in, they come out wrong. Like, we do not know how this happens.
I found a bunch of paperwork.
Right.
In the study. I didn't have time to go through it all. There might still be more there.
In Japanese?
I don't even remember what language. It wasn't in Japanese, because you said I could understand it.
Well, to go into more detail now you got time to think, there was a combination. Most of the stuff you were looking at was actually in English. However, good tracts of it were in Japanese as well. Also, there was some French in there, a little bit of Czech.
It's a mix of languages. I don't speak Japanese, but I spoke the others. But also, I was able to recognise some of it because it references some of the work we've seen before.
The stuff that was most familiar was also in the most familiar languages.
Yeah.
Shocker.
So, there was some similarities with the Francois Henri research we saw, and even with Liliana's on power sources.
Have you still got that notebook?
Yeah.
Right, well, let's have a look at the God, so long ago. The
little paper
the
frame.
squid ink.
And the message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go.
Right, I'm going to get it out and look at it and see if, like, there's any handwriting similarities, paper quality similarities. Like, we got this thing to say, like, oh, man, Japan is a place we want to go, so...
Do you have any relevant skills? I can give you some info anyway, but do you have any relevant
linguistics to recognise handwriting, I think.
Okay. While this is happening, Azu is going to just go and sit on the floor.
An acceptable response to the current situation.
Yeah.
What skills would you be looking for? Like, I don't know. I have a bunch of stuff, but...
Certain knowledges, linguistics, basically anything that's paperwork related, I can give you some
I actually
extra
do
stuff.
have linguistics. Oh,
Linguistics would be real useful.
Yeah, great. I actually did put a rank in it. That's a 12.
Yeah, it's probably the same hand. It's a bit hard to tell because the writing on the more recent documents is there has been a fundamental shift in the way that they are writing. Like, it's gotten significantly more erratic, and the spelling... Right. Like, you can say, even if you don't speak Japanese, that character's clearly meant to be that character, that one's wonky.
Yeah.
So you think it's probably the same person, assuming, for instance, that Shoin has completely gone off the deep end.
Yeah, so it's in Japanese, the message.
So
the original message.
We had it translated at one point, but I think it was, yeah.
So, other things that you know, I'm just going to run through it.
It's great, because it's been a year and a half as Zolf, and it's so very long.
It's fine. I'm not even going to bother digging up the original note because it's buried in an archive somewhere. Things that it might be the same ink. I mean, ink's kind of hard to tell unless you do a full analysis. It's the right colour.
Black.
Cell peers over your shoulder.
It's the same ink. Like, you just get that for free. It's definitely the same ink.
Hey, cool! They're written by the same person.
Right. Oh, is this
Well, it's at least the same ink. That's
really great.
And in terms of
what does this say? And I'll hand Cell the Japanese because they can read it.
Please give me a knowledge alchemy. I'll let you pick knowledge alchemy or knowledge engineering. Sorry, craft alchemy or knowledge engineering, whichever you prefer.
Craft alchemy, definitely.
Then go for it.
I have so much alchemy. 27.
You understand most of it. There are a couple of bits that you don't, even with a 27, but you can take an educated guess that they are because they are things that have not been discovered elsewhere. And they are like self-contained knowledge. You know, things like, when people use like, oh yeah, it's an SOP, and you're like, I don't know what that acronym is. Like, I have no frame of reference for this. So there's a bit of that. It is a piece of correspondence between Francois Henri, who appears to be a French gentleman, and Yoshida Shoin. It'll be about 3 years old, this correspondence. And the correspondence itself this is from the notebook specifically, it is talking about major breakthroughs in terms of the fluidic systems, and that Francois, his work has been really, really instrumental, very, very helpful. And then it starts going into a lot of stuff that isn't alchemy, where it's like, yes, we've had big leaps in terms of semiotic transference, and the semantic systems are they're really going, and the organic growth methods are definitely the way to go forwards. In terms of
nice potatoes.
In terms of distributed I'm literally giving you the occasional phrasing, but in terms of distributed synthesis, the organic model is far superior. Semiotic transference is at about 86%, and we really think that we're probably going to be able to not only establish the transfer, but probably duplicate it.
So the tricky thing is in-game working out how much of this Cell could explain before Zolf found it too boring. Because
I mean, ultimately, I think that's Ben's choice for how
it is the sort of
Zolf
thing
gets.
where they'd be like, well, we're not understanding what this is. This isn't useful, because it isn't. So
Hamid will listen intently.
I mean, also,
to
I have
it.
linguistics, so I do understand what semiotic transference is.
Azu was checked out.
Ben's a bit wobbly, to be clear, but...
What's your knowledge religion, actually?
I hope I've got some. Yeah, I've got a rank in it.
Can you give me a knowledge religion, because you may have an additional insight?
Oh, that's a critical fail. Well, a 1.
Then you don't have an additional thing.
just hate gods.
I'm done with you.
They get in the way of all my good works.
So Cell sort of explains this and is like, so this Francois Enrique, like, he seems really smart, really...
well, he's dead now.
Oh, well, you know, that's...
Like most of the people who get involved in this. So it looks like this is related to the Mr. Ceiling thing we were saying. I've gone really London for some reason.
Hamid, can you give me a knowledge arcana for an additional insight, because you've got a bit more experience on that angle?
I also have knowledge arcana.
I also have
18.
knowledge arcana.
I'm trying to distribute the knowledges a bit.
No, I want all of the rolls. No sharing. It's Ben time.
18.
I mean, I have 17 in knowledge arcana.
I'm giving it to
Hamid, because he specifically studied this
because
area.
Hamid also has the insight in that he read all of the notes that Sasha and he burned, amongst other things. So in there, you notice that you're no expert. Francois stuff seemed to be a lot of like outside in, like taking stuff that's spread out and bringing it into one place. This one seems to be kind of focused on the opposite, taking things from one place and spreading it out. That's a big abstract take away what you want.
We're cracking this conspiracy wide open.
Shoin has literally uploaded himself to the Matrix. I'm now
God.
basically convinced in what that...
And you know what? I'm going to take a break whilst Ben's face continues to twitch. And welcome back. So,
And a bunch of this paperwork is about, like, the circulatory system. And I was like, you know, you said that the infection shows up in people's veins.
ooh, anyone have knowledge heal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alex is spreading out the knowledges. Alex keeps saying this.
Sorry. I will... yes. Azu, please.
What's your heal?
11.
13.
That's fine. Wow. I just got a double bird.
But this is what happens when Ben tries to steal other people's focus.
You said, does anyone have knowledge heal? And I said, yes.
He said,
I answered your question
he said
in good
looking
faith.
meaningfully to Helen, knowing she had the highest, because he checked this before we played today. Spreading out my knowledges, Ben. Spreading out my knowledges.
Did you hit your head?
He's just weary with us.
That negative energy.
Give me the roll, Helen.
might-
And then fudge it so that Ben can really get saucy.
You might have a good heal check, but I'm still better at healing than you are, so you know.
Actually, in universe, you have pushed the very boundaries of medical science, repairing Sasha up, don't forget.
Ayo.
And the
That
only-
went so well.
And the only one who knows that is Zolf.
She was only slightly dead.
That's one for me.
That's a 29 on a heal check.
Ooh, 29. Great.
That's all right.
Okay. I have a couple of info dumps for you. Okay. The first is he starts talking about circulation. You have a look at the paperwork. I mean, yeah, if the humanoid body was massive, like he's talking about circulation, but like the scales are all wrong. Like that's more circulation than you can fit in a person. Or even like 10 people.
You know, mate, your problem there, you got too much blood.
Now that's a
just someone like a balloon. Like,
No, 19th century medicine. The problem is too much blood.
Yes.
I prescribe leeches.
I'm also, because you rolled quite high, going to allow you an insight on the orb a little bit.
Good.
But specifically the brain within the orb, not the accoutrement around it, because that's just getting
I
in
don't
the
know
way.
anything
From
about
two
that.
different heads. Are they?
No. However, you do know Alex is checking his biology one last time to make sure he does have it right and didn't put a typo in.
Has the corpus callosum been cut?
So, you notice... getting ahead of me a little bit here. first things that you notice, the left hemisphere is the one that's covered in veiny bits. Okay. Which, a lot of people have started doing research saying that that's actually kind of more like your logic thinking bit. And then the right-hand side is your more creative bit. You also notice there's definitely damage between the two.
Oh, is that those the
That's
little? Yes.
There are chords that
It also
connect
looks like, and again, this is kind of your first interaction with it.
Pretty sure it is.
It looks like the blue has come from the outside in, not the inside out.
That's a relief.
Okay. You said veins. This is too much volume for veins.
What?
This is... If you put this much liquid into a normal size...
It's just there's too much branching.
Hang on a
more than
minute.
anything else.
I mean, look at the four of us. What's a normal-sized person?
Well, no.
No, I mean, you'd have to have, like...
Like a giant squid.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe.
like that
That's how you make this
giant thing?
Yeah.
Pointing
Or-
at the
Oh, well,
Yeah.
maybe that. Although that's
Something very large.
How organic is this, or was it like a big
the
clanky
jumble sale.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a rattly, clanky jumble sale. There was
So there's not organic.
no organics in it beyond
So
the
it was
brain.
an animated like
there was
object.
it was a table with attitude.
Constructed thing.
Yes.
If this was in a humanoid shaped body, how big would that body be? Can you work that out?
Okay, Alex, you will be able to. Alex has to figure this out.
It's like 60 foot. You said that it was like 10 times the...
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. By volume, you're talking like maybe a redwood tree.
Good grief.
But, however, also the circulation doesn't look right. It doesn't look right for a creature.
So it's not humanoid at all.
It's like
whatever this is in.
it's like you took a giant, like an actual, like a giant fee-fi-fo-fum giant, right? Smashed them into a pancake without messing around with the circulatory system, and spread it out as wide as you could.
So it's like skin.
It's closer to like an enormous fungus,
I say it's sort of like...
but it's definitely a circulatory system because it's got valve markings and stuff.
That
But
is
it's
deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
Also, the brain, the blue veins on it have like got in somewhere and then spread.
So we think this
Right.
brain is Shoin, right? I mean, that's the only logical.
So
No,
he
it's-
was. Cell was translating most of everything
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Shoin was saying, so they may not have made it completely clear how much of it was arguments with the shut up. So Cell explains this. Like the whole way through, they would be like, "Oh, I'm a big puzzle master. Ha ha ha! I master the puzzles. I master." Then be like, "Shut up!" And now I know that's how most of us feel inside of our heads most of the time, but not usually out loud. So I thought maybe that was a clue, and that there would actually be several people here. But no. But maybe if the veins are like a person, and then they could be saying "shut up" all the time, or they could be saying something, and he could be saying "shut up" to them.
Right,
It
and
can't be a power struggle.
Yeah, and you said the connections between the hemispheres have been severed.
Well, it's damaged. It's...
Right, which could
information for Zolf. Just for free, like no knowledge
thanks.
is required.
Am I allowed?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are allowed on this one.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you.
I now just take it away just for the pleasure?
Thank you. So much.
You've never heard of anything like this tied to any of the blue vein stuff. People are either
This
veiny.
is some weird gubbins.
Well, there are three stages. You're just a person, like a normal person. You're in the sneaky pre-veiny stage where you've got to wait, and then they're either veiny or they're not. Or they're veiny, they're not the person that they were. This is
Right.
no
So
reference for this.
This is something new, and I don't know if it's either an experiment or maybe it's some sort of preventative, like they got infected and had to do something to stop it, or if they were mucking about and seeing, or they invented the damn stuff. Like, I don't know. What I think, in retrospect, is we should take the orb, if it's sealed, Cell, right? Yeah?
Yeah, it has the power thing here. I'm just wondering whether the infection happened before they took the brain out of the body
Yeah.
or after.
So what I'm thinking is we take it back, you build some sort of speaking apparatus, and we ask him.
I could absolutely do that.
Yeah, we
Should
want to
we-
keep it isolated, though.
It's already isolated itself.
Well, yeah, that's.
Should we look around a little bit as well?
I mean, yeah, but I am pretty keen to get out of here when we can before we get attacked by that giant squid.
Well, yeah, but that's a question. Is the giant squid related to Shoin? Was he controlling it? What can we work out? Cell, you'd be the best place to do this. But can we work out what else this console thing was connected to? What was he controlling from his little brain orb?
It looks like it's going to mix together different potions. These are all alchemical symbols.
Oh, right.
So as he was playing the, like, I don't know what this is supposed to look like, but...
Well, it sort of looks like a pipe organ, a little bit.
Oh, cool, okay.
It's like a musical instrument.
So by pressing all of those buttons, then things will mix together, and then you would get like, whoop, boom, then there'd be a little kind of potion. It's like, have you heard of 3D printing?
What?
It's very, so you try and tell
3D as in 3 dimensions?
Yes, so it happens.
What do you mean by printing? Like where
you tell a coral
producing
where to grow, and very slowly it forms a shape.
You mean like... Oh, yeah.
Like
so
sculpting.
Yeah.
Well, like, printing is how they make books, you know,
Right.
the printing press, and then it's 3D.
You do that over and over and over and over again.
And you like build up layers. That sort of makes sense. Yeah.
Mostly I do it by telling small microorganisms where to go.
That sounds really cool.
But I think you could mash up just about anything and then push it down. You could do it with wood, you could do it with hair, you could do it with snow, though that wouldn't last very long. Ice, I tried. I made a very, very nice thing last winter for the ice sculpturing contest, yes.
Right. So, let's maybe stay on
But it's still
target here.
useful to know what Shoin was controlling and what was able to control it. We don't want to be attacked by the squid.
No,
Is
So I'll
that's
just
the
use it
target.
a
Let's
look
stay on
and a
that
think.
target.
Yeah.
Gives what a look and a think.
Give the wider mechanism that the punchy
Was the
buttons.
brain connected to anything else?
No. I know. Where's the fluid connected to?
Oh, the fluid that pumped out? Okay, yeah. I'll let you do an engineering check for that. This is just a plumbing
I also
check.
have a quick rules question. That was a 10 you rolled. About previous week, Hamid was in this boss room before the rest of the party got there, and Shoin was speaking, and I was interacting with him. Mm-hmm. Was he not speaking Japanese that time?
No.
Okay, good. Because
I think he did swap languages at some point.
Okay,
Because
I
I
thought
remember
maybe we'd
Zolf
forgotten
yelling
that.
No,
at
it was
him.
explicitly
Okay,
brought
cool.
up. Yeah, Shoin swapped to English at some point.
excellent. Okay.
22.
22. As far as you can tell, some of it was used in some kind of activation method for the big robot. So the robot wasn't pumped full of it, maybe some kind of catalyst. However, it looks like it's also been siphoned off elsewhere. Like, not in this room, downwards specifically. But again, if he's got something that's used for catalysing reactions, it makes sense that you'd try and use it for more than one thing. That's as far as you're going to get with that check.
Any joy?
I mean, this is you looking at a UFO as a plumber going, I reckon I'll figure this out.
So, yeah, but sell wood.
This is a thing I am factoring in, which is why I'm not just telling you no.
Cell is so far beyond the upper limit of human intelligence
Yeah.
that they might as well.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, they are still capable of rolling poorly.
Yes, true.
They are the UFO.
Yeah, so Cell's looking at this and kind of... so I think... So this is a catalyst. It's not like this was gone in and that's powered the hydraulics. This is possibly analogous to a battery, you know? So maybe there was storing
battery.
energy in there somewhere,
Like
and
a
this was
transfer
used...
of power.
Quite possibly. But also maybe just to have a really cool light show, because sometimes, like, I have worked with alchemists before where you're trying to work out exactly backwards engineer exactly why the reaction, and they just added a reagent to make it sparkle because it's cool, you
Right.
know? So you've always got to take that into account.
So this was all used to make that and pointing at the robot.
Some of it's going somewhere else, possibly to power something else, but that's
Where is it going?
down.
We need to go down then. We need to see where that goes, because this might not be, we don't... If we ain't got to the bottom of this, I mean, literally...
There is a sudden loud mechanical noise that I'm going to replicate, which is a... As you all look around to see what it is, you see that one of the chairs, one of the ones furthest from the big throny one, has suddenly just... Big, like, clamping arms have come out the side of it, and it's straightened out, and it's made as if it's to a slide with a hole at the bottom of the chair, like, like slide down, kind of deposit a person style.
Do you think he can hear us?
Skraak crawls up from under the table.
Oh, well done.
Good work, Skraak.
It's a mechanism.
We didn't investigate the body either.
Right.
Goes down.
Right. Yeah, okay.
We might have to explore that in a little while, Skraak.
have a look at the body then. Although I assume it's just one of the party that, died.
Yeah, but might
I'll
still be
go
something to
and
work
look.
out.
I'll go and look. I'm going to do a heal check on the body, I guess.
No, there's no body. What I'm saying is that the chair has...
No,
reshaped.
we're talking about the cleric that's...
Oh, the one that exploded into pieces.
Oh,
Oh, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Got it.
Whoa! Big reaction from people. You can examine the body. It's going to take you longer because you've got to keep walking back and forth across the room.
All right, okay.
I'm not joking. You could. You are actually just going to have to, like...
It was plugged into something. Like, what was it plugged into? Like, I still don't understand, like, how Shoin was talking to us through the rest of the complex.
This is all fine. I'm happy to answer these questions as long as you, like, focus on
I mean, I
things.
still think there's a lot to work out here, is what I mean.
Sure.
So my thought is that the Borb, like the word, by the way, when it was connected to the, like, Borbatronics...
We are the Borb. We will be assimilated.
Bring us your seeds.
It's like a double dock system. Like, the brain was docked into the body, was docked into the seat, and then from that he could control everything.
Right.
Can we control it?
Engineering?
Well,
Not a brain in an orb.
no, I mean, he must have been giving orders to all the people back in the base. There's still a bunch of kobolds who are trapped there and, basically enslaved. Like, there's still a lot.
All right, well, we'll go back to the base once we're out of this... stay on target! The kobolds aren't important right now!
We might be able to issue an order, is what I mean. We might be able to
could
fake
tell them
being
to
Shoin. We could say, stop drugging the kobolds and stop and lay down your weapons. I mean,
All right, well,
we don't
you
know
work-
what the capabilities are, is what...
You work on that. Azza, you take that half of the corpse and I'll take this half.
Okay. You sneaking extra checks in.
We look
I'll
at bits
allow
of
it.
clerics. We could both do it anyway.
I'll allow it.
Oh, rubbish. 13.
Okay, it's been there a while. You aren't able to determine cause of death because it did explode. However,
But not explosion, importantly.
it is desiccated, meaning it was sat in that position for a long time. You also, as you're examining carefully, I might add, see.
Yeah,
what
I don't want to
appears-
be touching
No,
it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
It
Poke it
appears.
with
It
my blade.
appears to be positively riddled with the dried remnants of blue veins subcutaneous, exactly as you'd have expected.
Right, as soon as I notice, I'm like, get away from it! Right.
What?
It's veins.
Oh!
It was infected.
None of you are touching it with bare hands or anything like that.
No.
I'm not expecting saves, but
Even though my hands are basically bare hands.
Right. Okay.
You have the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
And you've taken that right.
Exercising it!
Okay, at this point, let's do what we need to do here and wrap up. I want to get out of this room and away from that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Then okay, let's
Do we go
let's see if we
down-
can work out what other things this.
Can you
Console
send,
can control.
You have lights, right? Can
Yeah.
you send the lights down the chute and we can look at what's in the space that's underneath this table?
Skraak, no. One.
No,
Skraak
don't.
disappears under the table. Like, just.
Skraak, you okay?
Little buddy.
It has sort of like struts and so on, so he literally just disappears under the table. You start hearing the sounds of things breaking.
Ooh. Azu's gonna go and, look down the chute.
We should still see if we can work out what other capabilities this console might have. It still might be the. If this is where Shoin was based, if this is where he was issuing orders,
All right.
we still might be able to work out
Okay.
what else was going on
So,
in this
would you mind having a
entire
look?
complex.
Yes, another look. Yes, I can
you.
do that. Yes.
So-
has another look.
No, it's fine. I'm going to allow this as completely separate because you're looking for completely separate things. I need a knowledge engineering specifically for how does this interact with.
The stuff.
I would like to assist. I do not have knowledge engineering, but I did spend an entire week studying Mr. Sealing's controls of the Mr. Sealing facility, and I gained enough knowledge of that to be able to shut him off.
You know what? That's a fair point. I'll allow that. Contextually, that makes sense.
The memory on him.
Sorry, he worked out there was a big red off button. That there was
So
literally
I
a big,
give-
like, whack, whack.
I give you +2 by assisting.
Okay, so
I
that's
should roll for that. But
29,
yeah, I'll give you +2.
31.
31.
Ooh, that's a DC borderline.
Yeah, it is.
Yay!
So Hamid may have just tipped you over the top by pointing out, in your defence, something that's completely illogical. Why would you do that? That's just inefficient. Clearly, from your eye, oh yeah, Francois Henri's thing did that. Like the you know what it was? The lateral movement joystick. It was on the right instead of the left. Like what? What you find is Hamid's hunch is right. This thing probably does connect in with the rest of the complex, and you reckon you could jury rig it, maybe not to accept like inherent orders, like short of plugging yourself into it, like finding a way to make your brain talk to it.
Cell is tempted.
You are certainly able, you reckon, given probably half an hour, you would be able to rig something up so that you could speak and it'll come out as close to showing as makes no difference.
Also, maybe just a big red off button here. If there's a big red off button, I wouldn't object to pushing that.
There doesn't appear to be a big red off button in this one.
Cell explains all of this while so deep in the mechanism that a lot of the time you can't actually see anything except elbows and hair clanking.
So what you're saying is you can hook yourself into the PA system?
I'll make a little microphone. I'm not going to plug it into my brain. That would take a little more prep work, probably. Just because my brain is
brain's
quite
probably
useful.
quite good where it is, to be honest.
You've done brain work
I've thought
before.
about moving it.
You've done brain work before. The problem is you reach a certain point of brain work, and then you can't use the brain you're working on to work on the brain, and you get a recursive problem.
So the problem is I would need one of you to do the operation.
Wait, no, hang on a minute. Like,
I can train you in it just takes a while.
What are we actually going to gain access to? Is it just the speakers?
Yeah.
Right, well there's no use in that.
That's not a lot of...
So
Can we turn anything else off from here?
You reckon... I'll give you this for free. You reckon you could probably turn most of the place off from here.
It's a unit
It is just a
system.
case. It is just a case of going. Well, I mean, that cable connects here, so if we cut that cable, that bit turns off. The issue is that you have maybe 50% accuracy as to what you're turning off,
So
because you have to trace the wiring through 50 kilometers of wiring.
it's a relatively basic system in that the wires go to the place where the thing's affected, but the problem is that this whole place is basically a big circuit diagram, and so following the wires along, I might be, for instance, turning off the air filters.
Yeah, that. So let's maybe just leave the system functioning as it is.
Fair enough.
I went to look down the chute at Skraak.
Oh, okay, cool. So things that you find in the chute immediately.
Right, to be clear, I think Helen is looking for Skraak, who went under the table, not down the chute.
Are you looking down the chute? Or are you
did he
looking
go
for
under the
Skraak?
table?
Skraak has gone under the table. The chute is underneath the chair.
Oh, okay. No, I was looking for Skraak because he was making clanking
Oh
noises.
yeah, cool.
And I wanted to make sure he was okay.
No, that's fine. You just see a kobold tail just thrashing a while randomly. Skraak seems like happy as Larry under there.
What are you doing?
Fixing. It sounds a lot like breaking.
Languages is Skraak now using English?
No,
Or is it just
Skraak
speaking
only speaks Draconic.
That is a very, very, very valid.
Skraak only spoke Draconic.
Yeah.
Understood Japanese, I thought.
Yeah.
Those are both accurate statements. I need to retcon that. That's a good point. Skraak wouldn't know what you were saying. That's a really valid point. Good catch.
Okay.
Skraak is just like Skraak. Skraak.
As he sort of taps on the table to get his attention.
There's a beat. Skraak then repeats the rhythm back to you from underneath the table. Skraak, ting, ting. Skraak, ting, ting.
As he goes around to try and get eye contact with Skraak.
Okay, cool. You see a single kind of beady, dragony eye looking at you.
She does a thumbs up.
It winks. Skraak,
Okay,
ting,
she's
ting,
satisfied
wink.
with that. She will leave.
Skraak, tink, tink, wink.
Skraak, I just in Japanese. Are you available for an internship anytime? I just really appreciate your can-do attitude.
Oh,
A large cog is thrown out from underneath the table and just skitters across the floor towards you.
It's a paid internship.
Another piece just flies out from underneath in a
What
random
is Skraak
direction.
doing? I'm assuming they know the system well enough for that to be useful, but what are they doing?
I couldn't. I can't talk to him.
Skraak, what are you doing?
Fixing.
Says he's fixing.
What?
Maybe he shouldn't be fixing it. I mean,
What more than a one-word answer would be amazing, given we're in the middle of an evil lair.
What are you fixing, Skraak?
Table.
What about it?
There's too much table.
It's not helping very much, I say to Zolf.
In Japanese again. Is there any way that I can help, buddy?
He says he's fixing the table because there's too much of it.
That makes absolutely no sense.
There's a sudden like grinding mechanisms and something. A seemingly hidden iris mechanism in the middle of the table opens, and then a juddery platform slides into place, and the sides of the table judder downwards in two places, making steps. Skraak climbs out.
So that's what he was doing. Very useful.
Good work, Skraak.
Too much table.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't understand that.
I did a quick sweep of the study area over there earlier, but I never look through the kitchen or the bedroom bits. There might still be useful stuff here, but I don't know how much time it's worth spending searching.
Let's have a quick look just in case. I'll take the kitchen.
I'll take the bedroom.
Yeah, I would like to see how long the bedroom has been abandoned.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start with the kitchen first.
So that's a 25.
The kitchen is fully stocked, like silly stocked, like cans to the ceiling kind of stocked.
Prepper stocked.
It's prepper stocked, and anything that can be spoiled is. This has been prepped to the eyeballs and then left for a while.
I'm going to take some stuff that isn't spoiled because we haven't eaten in a while, and I have a bag of holding.
There are literally like cans. I'm not even exaggerating by using the word can. There are cans there.
I just whomp some in the bag.
Yep, that's fine.
I've got a 23 for the bedroom.
For the bedroom was a mess. In terms of how long it's been left, it's really hard to tell because there is no dust in this room of any kind. Like, it's basically, like, to all intents and purposes, seems to be hermetically sealed, climate controlled. So you know it's been empty. This concludes the things that you can think. There is a book on a bedside table beside the bed, which has a bookmark 3/4 of the way through.
I opened the book.
It appears to be a Harrison Campbell novel. One of the
I take the Harrison Campbell novel.
one of the
in
early
Japanese?
ones. Yes, it is a Japanese printing.
Still taking it.
Collector's item.
Yeah. Could be a first edition.
You notice.
Oh, I'd know.
So you haven't read all of, like, you've read as much as Zolf could really give you in that time. You don't recognise this one specifically for what it's worth. Hasn't come up.
Okay.
It's got a very elaborate, like, swashbuckly cover, like, you know, big flamboyant hat and a rapier and
Okay.
kind of piratey style.
Okay, can I show it to Zolf? I want to see, like, look what I found.
Oh, that's in the eye of your love.
So it's a rarer printing. It got released. It got released in Japan. Like, you get all this for free. In fact,
Obviously. How dare you even think
I'd
about
like to
making
now
me
add
wrong.
a skill to your sheets, please.
Harrison Campbell, knowledge Harrison Campbell.
Harrison Campbell. You have a flat +10 modifier.
This massive skill list does not have a blank knowledge.
Of course it doesn't. You know what?
Craft Harrison Campbell.
I can have 2 professions, know how to perform in 2 different ways, and craft 3 different things, but I can't know something that's
Well,
not on
then
the
it's
list.
fine. It's profession Harrison Campbell fan.
Yeah, okay.
No, profession secret head of the Harrison Campbell fan club.
Secret?
No.
I think they just call them Harry-fans.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, genuinely, it is.
The Harry Sons.
It's one of
Sons
the.
of Harry.
It's amongst those in the know. It's known as one of the lesser Campbells. It's one of his earlier works where he hadn't really found his way into sort of the romance thing. His earlier works are very kind of high adventure, swashbuckly. So it's like, I'm a pirate. They mostly had the criticism of being all adventure and nothing else. Like, they read a little bit like, and then he captured the boat, and then he took the boat to the island, and then he got the treasure, but the treasure was haunted, so he fought the ghost, and then they got back on the boat, but the boat was like, he just
So he
goes,
writes like a breathless 8-year-old.
yeah, like it's one of his
Sounds
earliest.
amazing.
It's one of his earliest works. Did very well in Japan. Didn't do very well in Western Europe.
Right.
When do you think it would have been?
It's at least 6 years old.
Oh.
That.
I would like to finish exploring the study. I explored it earlier, under duress,
Sure.
in a rush. Now I've got a bit more time while they chat.
Can you give me the perception check, please?
28.
28.
No, 29. My bonus increased.
29 on the study itself. In ascending order of importance, because that's the most tense one, you find some more paperwork to do with the complex itself and to do with the pipe organ, as we'll keep calling it. Definitely the nerve centre of this place. It's genuinely too complex for you to parse. It would take a long time for you to even begin really decoding it. Even Cell, there's just too much.
Yeah,
It's
I will-
basically complete blueprints for this place.
Briefly show it to Sel, stuff it in a bag of holding for later.
You see, amongst the blueprints, like, I'm just going to give you this for free, you see it's very clear that you are currently stood atop an active geothermal vent. Like, it's very obvious. This complex extends a very large amount down and appears to have large amounts of livestock storage underneath this room. So it goes thermal vent, livestock storage, this room. You see that there are significant tunnel systems attached to this place that are, like, part of the... Like, there are a lot of mapping of tunnels, but it's silly complicated. They appear natural, but you're no expert. And then last but not least, you do find a diary. Like, it's clearly a diary. It has dates. It's done, like, at a first glance, it's done in a very, very neat Japanese. Bordering on, like, you know when people can get stupid calligraphy where it's, like, ruler straight and everything's perfectly aligned and it reads more like...
Sal, I can't read this,
buddy.
but, oh my god, I think it might be Soren's diary.
Oh my gosh. I always wondered if he was into me.
I'm going to use that as an out. It's a good out. We'll find out next week whether Shoin was into you or not.
Truly the worst cliffhanger this show has ever had.
It's a lot, you know? Why are you so
I met this cool alchemist, but I hate them. They're rubbish. But
the
I just can't stop thinking about them.
The secret diary of Shida Shoin, age 47 and 3/4.
I love the fact that we've spent an entire episode in a room and basically the feedback I've gotten is, it's a bit much, innit? A lot going on. Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. Today's episode was directed by Alexander J. Newall and produced by April Sumner. To subscribe, buy merchandise or join our Patreon, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us online, tweet us at The Rusty Quill, visit us on Facebook or email us via mail@rustyquill.com. Join our community on the Discord via the website or on Reddit at r/rustyquill. Thanks for listening.
Point of order, if you're out of lay on hands, you're also out of channel positive energy because paladins use 2 uses of lay on hands to channel positive energy. Unless you have a thing.
That's not in the book.
There's
a stupid book, Ben.
Preaching to the choir, Helen. You are preaching to the choir.